Welcome back to the garage. This is where we left off. Off camera, I installed the starter. I put the starter drive gears in, and there's a small little section of gears that's on a shaft that goes behind this cover. And of course I forgot, so I had to take the side cover off, the stator cover off, put that shaft in there with those two gears, and then reinstall it, and then I put all this on. Even I forget shit. I put this on, I took it off the old cases, and what else I do? I put the clip on the shift shaft, the clip in the washer. I installed this. This is the mount for the reverse cable, and I wanted to put that on because I wanted to tighten the cover all the way down. And I put never sees on these. They were a little corroded, so I never sees those, put them on. I cleaned the starter up. We should be good to go. Everything looks good. I guess the only thing we have to do is just throw this thing in the frame. So let's go over to the four-wheeler frame, and what we're going to do is we are going to install the new bushings in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one side, and that's pretty much it. If I show you one side, you'll know how to do both sides. So this is the new bearing and the new sleeve. I guess you'd call it a sleeve. Anyways, I am going to use the sleeve to install the bearing, because if I tried pounding on this needle bearing, let me show you guys what it looks like. If I tried pounding on this with a hammer, I'm going to distort it and I might knock those needles out. I don't want to do that, so what we do is we use the actual bearing slide itself as an installation tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up this to make it easier to slide in. And let's do that now. Should be good. I'm going to use a brass hammer, and we should be able to just get this to go right in nice and easy. I think that should do it, gentlemen. Now we'll grab a seal. This is the seal, and it goes right on the inside here, but you want to make sure it's sitting flush. And it looks like it should be. You should be able to just push that in by hand. If not, you can tap it. I think I'll tap it. Socket. So it's in there nice and flat. And that should do it, which is this guy right here, which is black Delrin. This comes in from the back side, and we're going to have to tap that in. And once that's in, we have to put a seal on it as well. Okay, and this socket here should work fine. Yep. So what we're going to do is send this through here, connect it. Show what we got here. Put the extension through. Let me show you what this other side looks like. Let me give you a close-up anyway. And you can see the seal on there. Maybe you can't. Now you can see it. See, the seal is flush. Now let's go around the other side, and I'll show you what it looks like with the bushing in there. And there's the bushing. And you can see I left enough room for the seal. And then I'm going to grease that thing. They give you a tube of grease that comes with the set, and I am going to use the whole grease tube on the bearings and the fill up the whole cavity with grease so we don't have a problem in the future. And so I'm gonna do the rest now. I'm gonna put the seal in. The seal's pretty easy. I showed you that already. And come back when I'm done. All right, swing arm's all done. Let's drop the motor in. It's a heavy one. All right, I gotta put the oil line on the other side. Once it's in the frame, it's impossible to get to the nut, so I'm gonna do that now. All right, guys, the motor's back in the frame. I have all the motor mounts loose right now. That bottom one's in. The swing arm bolt is in, and we're looking good. Well, I'll tell you what, man, that was a muscle. I had to muscle that thing in there. It was not fun, but it's in. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my impact gun and I'm gonna torque everything down, and we'll continue assembling. All right, guys, let's put the piston in, and we are going to install this now. And this dot goes towards the exhaust, and we want the rings to be 180 degrees apart, which they are. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil inside of here for the wrist pin, and we are just gonna slide this guy right in. Seat it right out and install the circlip, and I'll come back in a minute. All right, let's install the base gasket. What I want to do is, you can see the cylinder, it's really clean and it's really dry. So what I want to do right now is put oil in it. And I'm just going to wipe it around with my hand just to lubricate it all up nice. That's it. We'll leave these loose until we torque the head, and then we'll tighten them up. Let's get this second chain slide in. Chain guide, sorry. Let me move you guys out of the way for a second here. Hopefully you can still see. You gotta look down the side here so I can get it lined up. The groove it goes in. And if you look down inside there, you'll see that the chain guide is down inside a notch in the engine case. All right, let me grab the head. All right, we're gonna pop the head gasket on now. And this only goes on one way, so you can't mess it up. All right, I need the alignment pins, which I don't know if they're in the head. Yeah. All right, here are the alignment pins. Here's the other one. All right. Here's our rebuild head, which you guys remember from a bunch of videos back. Let me just keep these buckets from falling off. How nice that looks. All right, we're gonna pop it on right now. All right, so we want to obviously get the chain through the head. So let's do that first. All right, head is in. I gotta go see where I did with all the nuts and bolts for that. All right, I think I found them. Let's go here. I'm just gonna put them in and snug them for now. Now, whenever you do head bolts, make sure you oil up the threads because you're gonna be torquing on them, and it's all part of the torque spec. You wanna make sure you oil them. You also wanna put a little bit of oil on the washers here because friction will change your torque. Let's slide these all in now. I'll show you guys real quick. I don't know if you can see this, but the manual tells you to oil the washer and the threads like I did, and crisscross pattern, and the torque specs for this head are an initial of 18 foot-pounds and a final of 33.5. So let's go ahead and torque this thing down. That's 18. 18, 18, 18. Let's increase that to 33, 33.5, 33.5, 33.5. 33.5, and I will just check them all one more time. And we are torqued. All right, we're at top dead center. Let's start putting these cams in. And I am going to lube the journals with a little bit of Earl down inside these slots here. Put some on top of the buckets as well. All right, and you guys can see those timing marks. This is the exhaust cam. We're gonna put this one in first. All right, and that looks like it's a tooth off. And I can take the tension off of this now because I put the bolt back in, so timing chain cannot fall down into the case. Once again, Suzuki, incredible idea. All right, let's pull this up. I gotta go one tooth over. So this one's probably gonna be a bit of a pain trying to get in because the timing chain's new, so there isn't gonna be a ton of slack in it. So this can be a pain in the butt. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see this. Let me hold this up so you can see it. So the timing marks on this, it should be 1, 2, 3 on the front exhaust cam. And on the back cam, the 3 should be facing straight up, and we should get a 15 pin count from the 2 to the 3. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we have the 2 right here. I mean the 1, we have the 2, and then we have the 3. And the 2 is facing this pin right here. And the 3 is facing up, and we have the 1 right there, and the 2 should be down here. I'm sorry, that's the 2, and the 1 should be down here. Those don't really matter. So now what we want to do is we want to count the pins. So from this pin right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 is right here, and the 3 is pointing right to 15. So we are timed spot on. I'm going to put the caps on, and we are going to button up the top of this motor. One other thing I want to show you guys is that lobe position. The lobes, I know this thing's in the way, but the lobes should be facing, the exhaust should be facing the exhaust port, and the intake should be facing the intake port. and that's another way to know you have it timed properly. Okay guys, I got the chain tensioner on. I have the chain slider for underneath the head is in. I have everything torqued down, the bolts are torqued down, everything is in. I put a wrench on this nut right here, down in here, and I like to rotate the motor, I don't know, 360 degrees, multiply, you know, I'll probably do it maybe 4 times. Put it back on top dead center, check my timing marks, and this is when you find out if you have any interference at all before you start cranking the starter. So let's do that now. That is top dead center right there. And the cam lobes are facing out. And let me go on the other side. I want to check my timing marks. I want to look down inside the bore and make sure the piston is at the top. Get up on top here. Piston's at the top. Timing marks are spot on. We are good to go. All right, let's see where we're at now. I did some buttoning up on this. Covers on, chain tension is in. I can't remember where I left off in the last video. Let me go around the other side. Oh, I also put in the new master cylinder for the rear brake. I had to use the old reservoir and tube because the one that came with it was too short. It would have been coming through like this, and that's no good. So I used the old one. It's fine, it doesn't matter. The threads on this were a little bigger, one size up than the ones that were in the factory one, so I had to drill out the frame here to get bigger bolts to go through. That's all I had for bolts. The owner, if he wants to make it look better, he can pick up a set of metric bolts and make it look better if he chooses. Around the other side here, I just put in 2 quarts of oil, as you can see. I also did the starter assembly. It's all in there. I hooked up the clutch. I hooked up the reverse lever. What else did I do? I put this Nerf bar back on. I put the shifter lever back on. The exhaust is on here just temporarily because I had to put the thermostat and elbow on, and if you guys, from the first video, if you remember it, there's not enough room to get the head pipe out with that elbow and thermostat in. So I had to put this in just temporarily for now, which doesn't matter, to get that in there. I'm gonna throw the hoses on now, and I'm gonna fill it with antifreeze. And the reason why I'm filling it with fluids right now is I wanna see if I have any leaks before I even try to start it. But one thing I am gonna do is I have the battery hooked up, and what I like to do with these motors is before I start them, I like to cycle them with the starter because it's high speed, and that will get the oil pump full. It will fill all the passages with oil, and then I can check the oil level again. If it's really down, I can top it off. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put the radiator hoses on and come back when I do when I turn it over. All right, got the radiator hoses on. You can see this one's on, and the other one is on. And the owner decided, I mean, this is just loose, don't worry, it's not on top of it. The owner wanted to go with red. I guess he's got a color scheme in mind. I think they look pretty cool. Anyway, it's got oil in it. It's full of antifreeze. So let's fire this thing over on its own will and get some oil flowing through the motor, shall we? Safety here. should do. I'm going to now check the oil level, and I'm going to top it off to where it needs to be. I got everything on now. The exhaust is on fully. I had to use whatever hardware I have because I don't have the hardware for it. The owner took the pipe home. He was going to paint it. He ended up buying a new one, but he never brought back the hardware. Not a big deal. He can change it out later. Head pipes on, all tight. Air box is in, air filters in. All the hoses are hooked up. Full of antifreeze, full of oil. Let's go around the other side. All the electronics are hooked up. All the electrical's hooked up. Carburetor's in, as you can see. Everything is buttoned up top. Everything looks good. The CDI is in. I think that's everything. I think at this point now, what I'm going to do is I am going to install the rear plastic so I can put the battery in where it's supposed to be and put the gas tank on, and we are going to fire this thing up. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I have a piece of transmission coolant line here, and I'm going to cut it off here so I get this elbow. I put the gas tank on, and I went to cycle the throttle, and the throttle is hitting the vent tube going to the airbox, and it's not allowing at full throttle for the throttle to return, which is very dangerous. I looked at from the looks of the carburetor, it's been rubbing for a long time, so I am going to fix that right now, and I'll show you guys the end result. So this is what I did to fix the throttle problem. You can see in there, I put that piece of brake line in there with a couple of hose clamps, and that pulled it up away from the throttle, and now you can see I'll do the throttle. Now it's not hitting the throttle, and you can see the rub marks on the throttle. It's been doing it for a long time. You can see them. So that's fixed. Let's start this thing up. I don't know if the idle is up high enough. Go on reserve. Maybe that's why. Maybe I might want gas in there. Alright, try it again. Let's shut it off. I want to check all the fluids, and then I'm going to start it up again. Alright, let's fire this up again. I put another, I don't know, half a quart of oil in it, and a little bit more antifreeze. See what she does. Well, it's all done. It's all back together. The engine's all in. Can't ride it. The owner didn't bring the seat, and of course there's no chain on it at the moment, and the rear carrier is got issues, and we need to fix that next. Let's start her up so you guys can see. Take it for a ride and show you guys, but like I said, still needs more work. But at this point, the engine work is done. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I enjoyed it. It's the first time I ever worked on one of these, and I don't know if it'll be the last time. I wasn't. There's been easier engines to rebuild, and this surely wasn't one of them. But yeah, I got some more work to do to it. But I want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to see some more work on this, I'm redoing the carrier on it. That'll be a standalone video, and that will be next. So I'm going to pull it out, redo the bearings. The bike's owner bought a new complete carrier setup, so I'm going to pop that in there. We're going to figure out what's wrong with the axle and that nut, and I am going to go and bleed the brakes now that I have a new master cylinder on there. And that's about it. So once again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video on this, which will be the last one on this ATV. And that's it. Thanks for watching.